Tanyena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Vishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everyone to our ongoing study of the Nectar of Devotion at the level of Bhakti Sastri. And today is lesson number 4. So I'll switch to the PowerPoint presentation. Did you all get the PDF file? Yes?
Yes, Maharaj.
Good. Did you read it?
Yes.
Yeah, we send it. Okay. All right, so here we go. Slideshow. Oh. Okay. Yes, somebody's coming. Let them in. What's happening? Who put this on the screen? Who put this thing on the screen here? About group work. Where did that come from?
Maharaj, just now you touched that pastor. This one maybe from there coming, so you should.
From where?
I should just now you touched that pastor.
Maharaj, click on undo.
Yeah. Go in again. Huh? Oh no, not that one.
So you click on undo on top left. The
top.
Arrow. This way there is an arrow.
There's an arrow where?
On the top left corner. It's bit this type. You can see my finger. It's undo. Step back actually.
Recording stopped. Also, Darshan Prabhu, you can send the PPT to Maharaj now.
Can I send now once? Shall I send it again? Maharaj?
I don't think you need. Well, I don't think we need to. Maybe you put the screen up.
Okay, fine. That's good. I'll just start. View.
It's telling me screen share. Oh, have you done it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, go ahead.
Recording in progress.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, next slide. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. All right, go ahead. Let's see this whole verse. Does everyone know this verse now? Have you learned the verse? We'll chant. I'll chant it first. You can repeat. Anya bila sita shunyam.
Anya bila sita shunyam.
Jnana kadmadyanavritam. Go back. Yeah, Anukulyena Krishnanu.
Anukulyena Krishnanu.
Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama.
Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama.
Okay, now you chant. Let me hear each one of you chant it.
Anna vilashita shunya jnana karmadi anavritam anukaliniya krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama.
Okay, and then what about Bhaktavatsala Nrsinga?
Anya vilashita sunyam jnana karma janavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama.
All right, and then we have also Shashikant.
Shashikant has not yet joined.
Oh, is there another boy there? Another man there? What's your name? What's your name, Prabhu?
Elias.
What?
Elias. Not initiated, so normal name.
So, what's your name? What is your name?
Elias.
I can't hear it.
It's Elias.
Elias.
Yeah.
Elias. Okay, Elias. Back to Elias. Prabhu, go ahead.
Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadyan. Oh, sorry. Jnana karmadyanan vratam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama.
Okay. Lila Avatar Mataji.
Yes. Anya bila sita shunyam jnana karmadya navritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama.
Yes, good. Shobhamai Mataji.
Krishna Maharaj. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama.
Yes, very, very good. Yes. Narayani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karmadhyana vitam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama.
Yes, very nice. Yes. We have another, what about Maylin? Maylin? Is she there?
No, she's not there.
Okay, Shitala Mataji.
Anya vilasita surya jnana karma dhyana vrata anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Hare Krishna.
Yes, very good. Yes, very nice. Okay, is that everybody? Anybody didn't chant yet?
Well, I didn't chant yet.
Who's this?
My name is Vibhu Chaitanya.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Anya bilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu silanam bhaktiruttama.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Sudarshan? Yeah, go ahead. All right. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparavenam nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchate. Yes? Shobhamai Mataji, Chan?
Yes, Maharaj. Sarvopādhi vinirmuktam tatparattvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Yes, Narayani.
Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparadvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Yes, okay. Then Sudarshan Prabhu.
Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Okay, Bhaktavatsala Nrsinga.
Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tapadatpena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu.
Sarvapadi vinimuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Okay, and then Ilyas Prabhu.
Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hirishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Yes, Lila Avatar.
Sarvopati vinirmuktam tataparatena nirmalam risikena risikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate.
Yes, and then Sitala.
Sarvopadi vinimuktam tatparatvena nirmalam vishkena vishkesha sevanam bhaktir uchate.
Okay, very good. Anybody didn't chant yet? Everybody chanted? Okay, those are the two memorization verses. You have to learn these two verses. You should know the translation also. Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. Sudarshan, next slide. Yes. Okay, revision. Revision. We performed an overview of the... No, we're doing revision. We had an overview of the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service and at what stage they manifest. Define the term Klesh Agni. Who remembers what the word Klesh Agni means? Anybody?
Krishna Maharaj.
Yes?
From the material distress.
What? Material?
Relief from the material distress.
Okay, yes. And the 4 kinds of effects of sin? Who knows? 4 kinds of effects of sin?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Marriage, you go ahead.
Yeah, it is aprarabdha or the unmanifest.
Yes.
Then kutam, which is sinful propensity. Then bijam, which is ready to manifest. And prarabdha, which is already manifest.
Okay, good, yes, right. And how power to nullify all these sinful reactions. Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. Oh, why devotional service is the best? Okay, go ahead. Lesson 4. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. All right. These are the 6 characteristics. We'll look at them today. We looked yesterday, we looked at Klesh Agni, meaning get relief from material distress. So today we'll begin by looking at Shubhada. Yes, go ahead. Okay. You remember, there are 3 different levels of devotional service. And they're all pure devotional service. You may be doing sadhana bhakti, you can be a pure devotee. You may do bhava bhakti, you'd be a pure devotee. And if you do prema bhakti, you're also can be pure devotee. But there are different characteristics at each level. In sadhana, the characteristics is Klesh Agni and Shubhada. Bhava Bhakti, 4 characteristics. And Prema Bhakti, all 6 characteristics. Go ahead. Alright, Shubhada, meaning pure devotional service is all auspicious. Yes? Go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead. Okay, so what does it mean to be auspicious? It means there are 4 qualities. Go ahead. It's a little. Yes, right. Okay. There are 4 different things happen with Subhada. 4 different characteristics are shown. Shubhada, meaning auspicious for. Go back. Shubhada, compassion for everyone. First of all, should be compassionate for everyone. Means you think about everyone. You want to give Krishna consciousness everywhere, to everyone. And then the second thing, attracts everyone. Attracts Krishna consciousness. Krishna's all attractive. So when we present Krishna consciousness, everyone should be attracted. Every living entity, even the birds and the dogs, and all living entities, they're all attracted by Krishna consciousness. And then bestows good qualities. By doing devotional service, a devotee will naturally develop good qualities. In the beginning, we don't have good qualities. Before becoming devotees, we're not very good, but we develop good qualities quickly in Krishna consciousness. By coming to devotional service, then we develop good qualities. Or we should do, right? And then finally, bestows superior happiness. Superior happiness. There is one level of happiness for the dogs and the hogs, and there's a different level of happiness for the devotees. There's different kinds of happiness. Have you already studied the Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You already studied Bhagavad Gita, yes? So you know there is happiness in goodness, happiness in passion, and happiness in ignorance, right?
Yes.
Do you know? You can tell me, what is happiness in goodness?
A sense of knowledge and happiness. Happiness in ignorance.
Who knows what is happiness? How is happiness described in the mode of goodness?
Derived from knowledge.
That's not how is it described in the Bhagavad Gita?
It's begin like poison, but end like nectar.
In the beginning, it's like poison. Right. In the beginning, it's not very pleasant, but gradually it becomes nectar. Right? That is happiness. And what is happiness in the mode of passion?
It begin like a nectar, end like a poison.
It begins like nectar and very quickly becomes like poison. Right? And what is happiness in the mode of ignorance?
diffusion from beginning to end.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Very good. Okay, so happiness in devotional service gives superior happiness, the higher happiness, not the happiness of the dog and the pig, but the higher taste. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also speaks about the higher taste, the param dristva, right? Do you know that verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Who knows the verse in the Bhagavad Gita about higher taste? Vishaya vinivartante. Vishaya vinivartante. You know the verse? No, nobody knows. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate.
Yes, good. Do you know the translation?
Yes, Maharaj, I don't know exactly, but it is by experiencing a higher taste, one stops engagement in material activities and he gets that higher happiness.
Yes. Yes, the translation, the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, but the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such pleasure by experiencing a higher taste, then he is fixed in consciousness. Right. So we want to become fixed. We want to get the higher taste. Okay. Well, go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead, next slide. Okay. Who would like to read for us? Who's not? Oh, Bhakta Vatsal Nrsinga Prabhu, you can read for us this.
Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami.
No, from the top. From the top.
Okay. Subhane Prinanam Sarva Jagatam Anuruktata. Compassion for everyone and attracts everyone. Srila Rupa Goswami has given a definition of auspiciousness. He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. The Krishna consciousness movement is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement, and everyone can feel the result. Therefore,
Surushan?
Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars agree that a broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 1, auspicious, first paragraph.
Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. First paragraph, yes. All right, so this is Krishna consciousness is a welfare program, and it's the highest humanitarian welfare program. We are welfare workers. We're trying to help people to have a better life. We talk about being compassionate for others. Therefore, Prabhupada has written that Rupa Goswami and other scholars, they wanted a propaganda program for Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people don't like it. They say, oh, you Hare Krishna people, you're always out there, you're always making so much noise and disturbing people and telling people about things. Prabhu, can we keep that same slide? Please don't change the slides till I tell you. All right? So, compassion is important. And part of our compassionate work, our compassionate nature is to distribute Krishna consciousness for everyone. And in order to distribute it, we make propaganda. We put on, what do we do to make propaganda? Can you think of some ways, Bhakta Vatsal Nrsinga Prabhu? What is some propaganda program we can do to propagate Krishna consciousness?
Food for life.
Food for Life, okay, yeah. They have a big Food for Life program in some countries. They do especially with the pandemic, there's a lot of hungry people. There's many people in need of, food. They have no job. A lot of people have no job, no money. And so we give give prasadam for people. It's a propaganda. What any other programs, Prabhu?
Maharaj, festivals like Rath Yatra?
Yes, right. Rath Yatra festivals. Good. Propaganda. Marriages. You can think of some propaganda programs?
Damodar Arti programs.
Damodar Arti. Yeah, getting everybody to offer a lamp to Lord Damodar. It's very nice. Get how many people you can get to offer a lamp. We go out in the public and we invite people, come and offer a lamp, offer a candle to Lord Damodar. Introducing people to Krishna consciousness. So this is our welfare work, and it helps people to develop their Krishna consciousness. They have a contact, they develop some contact. I met one devotee, one man, he wasn't a devotee, I met this one man, he was in Australia, and he told me he was running in the Sydney Marathon. They have these things, the marathon, so they had the Sydney Marathon. So he said he was running in the Sydney Marathon, and he just remembers, he said, at the end of the marathon, I just remember this devotee came and he gave me an orange, and it was so good. Oh, he said, I'd been running the marathon, and they came with this orange, and it was so nice, and I'll never forget. So the devotees had come there to the marathon, and they were giving oranges to all the people running in the race. So this one man remembered how he got this orange from the devotee. And so he was thinking about Krishna, he's thinking about the devotees. Very nice. This is how people get some seed of devotion, they get some contact with the Krishna consciousness movement, and that can lead to them in the future, they may do more service for Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, go ahead. Next slide.
Satguna produces good qualities.
Yeah, do you know this verse?
I don't.
Yashyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samaste suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratena sati davato bahi. All right? Translation? You go ahead, Prabhu, read.
All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse.
Yes, right. So one who is a devotee has all the good qualities. And this is the verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam to support it. But one who is not a devotee, even though he may be very expert, it said even he's very expert at mystic yoga or at maintaining his family and relatives, he may do these things very well. But if he's not a devotee, if he's not doing any devotional service, then he has no good qualities. Why? Because he's under the material energy. And when you're under the material energy, sometimes you may be in goodness, sometimes you may be in passion, sometimes you may be in ignorance. It's going to vary. It's not going to be steady unless you're doing devotional service. All right? So devotee has good qualities. He should have the good qualities. If we're actually steady in devotional service, then we will have all the good qualities. And they're mentioned: religion, knowledge, renunciation. All right? Prabhupada went to the post office one time in India, and the man was asking Prabhupada about, why you do all of this, why you do all of this chanting and everything. So Prabhupada was explaining to him about devotional service. And so the man in the post office was saying to Prabhupada, well, I'm an honest man. I don't do anyone any harm. I don't lie. I don't steal. I don't cheat anybody. But Prabhupada told him, he said, yes, but if you're not doing devotional service, then your condition is not fixed. Sometimes you will be in goodness, sometimes in passion, sometimes in ignorance. Just like somebody, you may be, quite a good person, but sometimes you get angry and you get very passionate and you may shout and quarrel with people. And sometimes we become influenced by the mode of ignorance. We become lazy, we become dirty, and we may do even bad things. Do you understand the importance of devotional service? This is the scriptural verse from the 5th canto, Lord Rishabhadev's teachings, I think. Okay, well, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
A Krishna-conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up all illicit sex life, gambling, meat-eating, and intoxication, whereas those who are not in Krishna consciousness, although very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat-eaters, sex-mongers, and gamblers. These are practical proofs of how a Krishna-conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities, whereas a person who is not in Krishna consciousness cannot do so. The Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 1, Krishna consciousness is all auspicious, 5th paragraph.
Yes, people may be highly educated, they may be even professors in the university, but you'll find they're often drunkards and they're all meat eaters practically, and they smoke like anything. Oh my goodness, they smoke. They may smoke a pipe, but they smoke something. They smoke cigarettes, they smoke pipes, they smoke, and they drink, and all meat eaters. They have no good qualities. Because even though they're highly educated, they may have PhDs, they may be professors, but they don't have good qualities. You don't see the good qualities. But a devotee, one who is actually a devotee, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, no illicit sex. So these are very special qualities. And these qualities are seen there in a devotee. But people who are not devotees, how often do you find somebody who's not a devotee who follows these 4 principles? Very rare. Very rare. Most people, all meat eaters and drunkards. All right, go ahead.
Sukham bestows superior happiness. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. 3rd paragraph. Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the material platform again. 4th paragraph. No difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. 6th paragraph. One can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yogic materialistic perfections. 10th paragraph. The happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. 13th paragraph.
All right, so this is from All of the above are from the Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 1, Happiness in Krishna Consciousness. So, we want you to understand how, simply by doing devotional service, you get the highest happiness, superior happiness. First point, it's mentioned that the happiness from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. Now, in the material world, we don't have any happiness which is eternal. The happiness of the material world is very short. It's very short, very temporary. But the happiness of devotional service, that's there all the time. It's eternal. Just like we chant Hare Krishna, we get happiness from it. We chant the same mantra again and again, we get happiness from it. Material world, you do the same thing again and again. The more you do it, the more boring it becomes, and the more you dislike it. And so the happiness of devotional service is a very special taste. And then we mention about the Mayavadi sannyasis. They descend to the material platform again. Why do they come back to the material world again? Anybody know?
Preach.
Huh?
Preach Krishna consciousness.
The Mayavadi sannyasis come back to the material world to preach Krishna consciousness.
Oh, sorry. No, because there was still material desire.
They come back to the material world because they still have material desires?
Maharaj, actually Mayavadi sannyasis, they think that they can be one with Krishna. Then they feel that they were one with Krishna, but they are in a thing of inactivity. So they come back.
Yeah, they get to the, well, where do they go? Where are they coming back from?
Brahman, Maharaj. Brahman, there is...
Yes.
From where?
From the Brahman platform.
From the Brahman. Yes. They achieved liberation, but they achieved the impersonal liberation, right?
Absolutely, yes.
They went only to the Brahmajyoti. They entered into the Brahmajyoti. And so they were in the Brahmajyoti. So why didn't they just stay there? Why did they come back to the material platform?
Maharaj, we hear that in Srimad Bhagavatam and the Canto, because they don't get shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So because of lack of shelter, they descend down.
Because Jiva is always active.
Okay, so first of all, Shashikant says, because they didn't get shelter from Krishna, they didn't have any shelter, they had achieved oneness with the Brahma, into the Brahman, but what's the problem with that oneness in the Brahman? Why they didn't just stay there?
There is no personal relationship over there. So to get that happiness, one needs to serve another person. But in the Brahman level, it is there is impersonalism. There is no activity. There is no service, and therefore there is no bliss.
Right.
So they attain
Yes.
only Sat and Chit.
Yes, there's no relationships, there's no activities. Very boring for them, right? Very boring. If you go somewhere and there's no relationship, there's no activities, nothing, there's only the oneness, only you, nothing else, then you want to come back. So they come back. They go there to the Brahmajyoti and then they come back to the material world. They didn't get the happiness which the soul wants. They get some little happiness because they get free of the material life. They get free from the material world. So there is some little glimpse of happiness. But the happiness of that liberation, that impersonal liberation, that happiness is very small compared to the happiness of devotional service. Of course, these people are not devotees. They're not going to do devotional service. But they come back to the material world because, as you are saying, they want activity. They want to do something. The nature of the soul is to be active. So they're not comfortable on that impersonal platform, and they come back to the material world again. All right, and then it's mentioned no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. All right, mystic perfection, the yoga siddhis. That you know about the yoga siddhis. How many yoga siddhis are there?
Is it 8, Maharaj?
Yes, 8 Astasiddhis. Yes, the Astasiddhis. Can you tell me one or two of them?
I've heard about Anima. Lagu, yeah.
What is that? What is Anima?
Is it that the person can become very small, that he can enter into even a stone or even a small...
Yes, right. You can become smaller than the smallest. And any other thing you can... What the other things you can do? Something? What's Lagima? Anima, Lagima. One, you can become very small. Another is you can become very...
One is becoming very big, then very heavy, very light.
Yes, right. Yes, right.
Yes,
right. You can become...
To create a planet.
All right. So why is there no difference between this and materialistic perfection? Can you tell me, Prabhu?
Yeah, because, I don't know if it's written or no, I think I've heard it somewhere. Because to become smaller than the smallest, that's, I don't know, useful for going through a mountain or something, but then we also can dig a tunnel, and so all these things we can also achieve with material science.
Yes.
In a normal, okay, we can't create a planet, but many of these things we can do by, machines and those things.
Right, yes, right. Materialistic perfections. You can do things like fly in the air, right? The yogi can fly. No, we can also fly, right? There's one airline, they say now everyone can fly. That was their motto, right? Now nobody wants to fly, of course. Not so common. But before, now everyone can fly. So materialistic perfection. And that's what you get from mystic perfection. So the yogis, they work very hard to walk across water. You know, with great endeavor, they may get the power, they can walk over the water. But we can go in the boat. Get the same perfection. What's the difference? No, why spend so much time to get some yoga powers? So that's the point. And then one can derive great amounts of temporary happiness by achieving such yoga materialistic perfections. Yeah, temporary happiness. That's the point. Yoga materialistic perfections is temporary. It's not going to be eternal happiness. Some little happiness, oh, I'm so great. You become very proud. I'm so powerful. I'm so great. I can walk on water. And then, finally, the happiness derived from devotional service in Krishna consciousness is so transcendental and so unlimited that no other happiness can compare to it. So that we have to realize for ourselves. The happiness of Krishna consciousness is so great that there's nothing can compare to it. Can you think of some examples? Anybody got that kind of happiness? That he didn't want anything else? Anyone can think of some examples? I don't want any other happiness, I just want devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj, right? Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest, he wanted to get a kingdom. But after the Lord came to see him, then Dhruva Maharaj said, I came here looking for broken glass, but I found the most beautiful jewel. So the happiness of material life is like broken glass. It's of no value. But the happiness of Krishna consciousness is like the beautiful jewel. So Dhruva Maharaj had that realization. And we see also Gajendra the elephant, he was in distress and he prayed to the Lord to deliver him. And when the Lord came and freed him from the crocodile, Gajendra was not happy. He said, why you killed the crocodile? He got liberated. I still have to stay here in the material world with this elephant body. You should have killed me. I prayed to you. Like that. So, happiness. You get the highest happiness in Krishna consciousness. Sukham. Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. Next slide. Yes, somebody can... Yeah, Bhakta Vaksana, you're doing good.
Sukham, bestow superior happiness. My dear Lord, I repeatedly pray unto your lotus feet that I may simply be stronger in devotional service. I simply pray that my Krishna consciousness may be more strong and steady, because happiness derived out of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is so powerful that with it one can have all the other perfections of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and even the attainment of liberation from material existence. Prahlad Maharaj and Hari Bhakti Suddha Daya, Nectar Devotion, Chapter 1, Happiness in Krishna Consciousness, 12th paragraph.
Thank you. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that. He just wants devotional service. Happiness in Krishna consciousness. So powerful that I can have all the other things just by being Krishna conscious. Okay, go ahead. Yes?
Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into 3 categories, which are: 1, happiness derived from material enjoyment; 2, happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman; and 3, happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. Nectar Devotion, Chapter 1, Happiness in Krishna Consciousness, 1st paragraph.
All right, so 3 levels of happiness. Happiness derived from material enjoyment. And so that is the happiness of the material senses. It's going to be very temporary. It's going to be in relation to the material body. It won't last won't be very great. Will be there for some time. Just like, you know, maybe you get a new car. You feel very happy. Oh, my new car. How long are you happy with the new car? Somebody had his car the other day. He had an accident with it. His car got all broken. So these cars are like that. They're very the happiness is very temporary. All right, and then happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman. Well, we spoke about the impersonalists, the Mayavadis, how they identify themselves with the Supreme Brahman. So they go to the Supreme Brahman, but they don't like to stay there for long. After some time they get bored and come back to the material world because there's no activity. It becomes boring to be all alone, to be at one, in the oneness, in the Brahman. There's no real happiness there. There's no suffering, but there's hardly any happiness. So real happiness is from Krishna consciousness. If we're actually in Krishna consciousness, then we will feel very happy. If you're not happy, then you're not in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada had one servant, and Prabhupada was chastising him. And Prabhupada told the servant, he said, if you are morose, morose means you're miserable, you're not happy, means you're not in devotional service. You're not Krishna conscious. So you should always be happy. In some places, we're not just called Hare Krishna, we are called Happy Krishnas, right? We're the Happy Krishnas. Devotees always happy, always singing and dancing, chanting, blissful. Who else is doing that? Nobody. Go ahead. Oh.
Happiness derived from Krishna consciousness is superior because...
Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
1, it is eternal, whereas others are temporary. And third paragraph. 1, it includes and excels the pleasures found in other types of happiness. 12th and 13th paragraphs.
Okay, so we're given 2 reasons why Krishna consciousness is better happiness. First of all, it's eternal, and the others are not. And then the second thing, it's greater happiness than the other happiness. It's much greater than the other kinds of happiness. The little happiness you get from the material world, a little happiness of the Brahman, but the happiness of devotional service is so great, it's so blissful. Devotee doesn't want anything. Yes, go ahead.
Six characteristics of pure devotional service. Moksha lagut dakrit. Those in pure devotional service derive even the conception of liberation. Nectar of Devotion, chapter 1, 3rd paragraph.
The devotee, one who is doing devotional service, he doesn't worry about liberation. He's not concerned about it because he's already liberated. In order to do devotional service, you have to be liberated. You have to come to the liberated platform. So one who is actually doing devotional service, he doesn't think about liberation. Doesn't have any significance to him. Yes, go ahead.
Moksha lagut dakrit derives the concept of liberation. In the Narada Pascharatra, it is also said that any person who has developed even a small amount of devotional service doesn't care a fig for any kind of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, or the 5 kinds of liberation. It is stated that as the personal attendants and maidservants of a queen follow the queen with all respect and obeisances, similarly, the joys of religiousness, economic development, sense gratification,
Go ahead. Yes.
and liberation follow the devotional service of the Lord. In other words, a pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. He does not want anything but service to Krishna. But even if he should have another desire, the Lord fulfills this without the devotee's asking. Nectar Devotion, chapter 1, Happiness in Krishna Consciousness, last paragraph.
Okay. Yes, so there are 5 different kinds of liberation. The impersonalists, they only get one kind of liberation. The impersonalists, the Mayavadis, they get becoming one with the Supreme, merging. But there are 4 other kinds. which the devotee may get. The devotee will never get the impersonal liberation. He never wants to become one. But there are 4 other kinds of liberation which they may be given and which they may take if the Lord gives them. Alright? One is, do you know these? Narayani, Mataji? Or Shubhamai, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I think I can try. I know a few, I think. So I think the impersonalists, they get merging or Sayujya. Sayujya. Yeah. And then the other 4 are Sarupya, or getting the same form as the Lord. And Samipya, staying near the Lord or staying in the abode of the Lord. And I forget the other 2, Maharaj, sorry.
Shalakko.
Huh?
Shalakko.
Salokya. So Salokya is staying in the same abode.
Yes, Swalokya is on the same planet, yes. And then
Shashti.
the other one is Shashti.
Shashti.
The same opulences, enjoying the same opulences as the Lord. So we see...
The same bodily futures?
Sorry?
The same bodily futures?
The same bodily feature, yeah, we had that. Swarupa. Mataji said that first. Swarupya. That came first. We saw like Uddhava. Uddhava had achieved Swarupya. He had the same bodily features as the Lord. And there was the false Vasudeva. In the 10th canto Bhagavatam, or in the Krishna book, there's a story about the false Vasudeva, Pundraka. And Pundraka had put on 2 arms. He dressed himself up, he put on 2 arms, and he was telling Krishna, I should have that Sudarshan chakra, that's mine, I am the Supreme Lord, you're not the Supreme. So Krishna threw the Sudarshan chakra, and it cut off his head. He couldn't catch it. So Pundraka, when Krishna cut off his head, he liberated him, and he got Swarupya Mukti when he went to the spiritual world. Okay, so 5 different kinds of liberation. No, wait, hey, go back, come on. Yeah, so 5 different kinds of liberation. The pure devotee doesn't desire any of them, but he may accept 4, but he will never accept the Sayujya Mukti. He never wants to become one. And then Prabhupada mentions, he said, pure devotee does not lack any kind of happiness derived from any source. So sometimes devotee may worry that, oh, I'm coming to Krishna consciousness, I'm not going to get much happy, it will be austerity, all tapasya, all suffering, it will be difficult, there will be no happiness. But actually Krishna arranges, you get everything. You want happiness, then Krishna will arrange it. You do service to Krishna, Krishna is not ungrateful. Krishna repays his devotees. You do a little service for Krishna and he'll give you a lot more back. And so Prabhupada mentions, if we do have a desire, then Krishna knows about it. How does Krishna know our desires?
Because he's sitting within us as Paramatma.
Yes, he's in our heart as Paramatma, so he knows our desires. So we may not ask him about it, we may not pray to Krishna, but Krishna knows what we want, so Krishna will fulfill it, because we have some desire like that. So you have to be very careful what you desire in your mind. If you keep material desires in your mind, that may become a problem for you later on. Because Krishna knows what's in our mind, so be careful. You may not ask him for something, but he knows what's in your heart, and he will arrange it. Can you think of some people like that?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Who?
Again, Maharaj, we can consider the example of Dhruva Maharaj. When he met Lord, so actually he did not wanted that, you see, at the end he was free from all the material desires. But Lord anyway gave him the kingdom.
Yes, right, yes. Good. Yeah, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, actually, when the Lord came, Dhruva Maharaj said, oh, I don't want anything. But the Lord said, no, you take it now. He said, you had that desire. He said, now you take that desire. You have that desire. So we're giving it to you. So Dhruva Loka, there's a planet there. Dhruva Loka, the pole star. And Dhruva Maharaj resides there for the duration of the life of Brahma. All right.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes?
We can also think of Bali Maharaj, right? Because he did Ashwamedha Yajnas in order to become Indra. And I think next Indra is going to be Bali Maharaj, right? Krishna knows the desire of Bali Maharaj and he's going to make him the next Indra.
Okay, yeah. Very good, yes. So Bali Maharaj. So Krishna knows everyone's desires and Krishna's fulfilling the desires of everyone. All right, we'll go ahead. Next slide.
Six characteristics of pure devotional service. Sudurlabha. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Nectar Devotion, Chapter 1, 3rd paragraph.
Why will it be rarely achieved? Anyway, let's read this first. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Sudurlabha, rarely achieved, cannot be achieved by one's own efforts. In the preliminary phase of spiritual life, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for attaining self-realization. First paragraph. But all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service to the Lord, not even if one tries for it by such processes for many, many thousands of births. Second paragraph.
Okay, thank you. So cannot be achieved by one's own efforts. Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha meaning rarely achieved. It's not just by our own efforts. So maybe we shouldn't try. Maybe we shouldn't do anything. Eh? We may think, well, it's not my own effort, so why should I worry? Maybe I won't do anything. Maybe I'll just forget it. I'm just going to give up devotional service. No. It's achieved by the arrangement of Krishna, by the mercy of Lord Krishna. Causeless mercy. It cannot be achieved by one's own efforts. But we can try to attract the mercy of Krishna. We can try to prove ourselves worthy of the mercy of Krishna. It's not just mechanical though. It's not just because we do these things. Oh, I went to Mongol Arati every day, I should get pure devotional service. No, no, not like that. And then in the preliminary phase, there are different kinds of austerities, penances, and similar processes for attaining self-realization. So that is in the beginning, when we're new devotees. And when we're new devotees, we need to do these things to purify ourselves. We do some austerities and penances, and in this way we start to develop an attraction more for hearing and chanting. But initially, in the beginning, we don't have much taste because we're sinful. We came with a lot of sinful reactions. We have to get rid of all of our sinful reactions. And that's why we do all of these different austerities and penances and things. And then we become more qualified for devotional service. And then the third section, all such endeavors can hardly offer anyone devotional service, even if one tries for it. For many, many thousands of births. So I hope we're not going to have to do it for thousands of births, but it's possible. So we should understand devotional service is something very rare and very special, and we should want to get the greatest benefit from it. The greatest benefit being that we get pure devotees, we become a pure devotee. We give up all of our material desires. Then we will actually be successful. Okay, go ahead.
Krishna rarely awards it. He, Krishna, rarely agrees to offer soul devotional service, because by devotional service, the Lord himself becomes purchased by the devotee. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 1, The Rareness of Pure Devotional Service, 4th paragraph.
Can anyone think of an example where Krishna became purchased by the devotee?
Mahaprabhu said to Vasudeva that I am purchased by your service.
No.
Mother Yashoda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda or Ambarish Maharaj.
What happened?
So Mother Yashoda, she was able to bind him because of her true love in the Damodar Leela. So thereby he became purchased by her. No. And also Maharaj Ambarish, we can think of.
What did Maharaj Ambarish do?
Maharaj Ambarish was very devoted. He was a great devotee of the Lord. So the Lord himself stepped down to protect him when Durvasa Muni, because of the offense of Durvasa Muni, he was not ready to save Durvasa Muni. So he said, because I'm purchased by Maharaj Ambarish, you have to go and get you've done Vaishnava Aparadh, so you need to go and get the dust from his feet. Can we think of that example?
I don't see that Maharaj Ambarish actually purchased the Lord. Okay. I'm not sure about this. Let me think about it a bit more. Let me see what happened. Maharaj Ambarish, of course, Durvasa Muni couldn't get free from the curse by going to the Lord, and the Lord said that this Sudarshan Chakra is under the control of my devotee. That if you want to get free, you have to go to the devotee.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Here on the screen we can see the example of gopis. Krishna says, I cannot repay you.
And your voice is not clear, Prabhu, very echoing.
Maharaj, Krishna told gopis that I cannot repay your devotional service.
All right, yes. Krishna said, I cannot repay you. Yeah. Krishna told the gopis he couldn't repay the gopis.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, how about the Arjuna?
Yes, Arjuna is a good example. That's the example given in the text. In the book, the example was given that Arjuna, he'd purchased Krishna. Krishna became his chariot driver. So Krishna was purchased by the devotee. Krishna became the servant of his devotee. And there's another example. The other example is Maharaj Yudhisthira. Because Krishna became the messenger for Maharaj Yudhisthira. You know, before the battle, they wrote a letter to give to Dhritarashtra to ask him that, you know, let's not have the battle. Better we make peace and we will settle everything without going to war. And Krishna took that letter there and gave it to them. And when Krishna brought the letter to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, then Duryodhana, of course, he didn't want any peace, and he threw, no, we're not going to do this. They wouldn't accept the letter. And Duryodhana even tried to capture Krishna. He tried to capture Krishna at that time. He thought he would make a plan to capture Krishna and keep him there. Although Krishna had come just simply to deliver the letter, Duryodhana tried to break the etiquette and tried to capture Krishna. And at that time, Krishna showed his universal form. So Duryodhana, he couldn't, of course, capture the universal form. So Krishna had to accept, he had to do these kind of things. He became the chariot driver for Arjuna, and he became a messenger for Maharaj Yudhisthira. So he's like controlled by the pure love of his devotee. And just as Maharaji said, like Mother Yashoda, she can tie up Krishna. Oh yeah? So these are some examples. This is why Krishna rarely gives devotional service. He will rarely give pure devotional service because he becomes purchased. He becomes controlled. And certainly he's also controlled by the gopis of Vrindavan. Krishna said, I cannot repay my debt to you. The gopis purchased Krishna by their pure love. That is the fact. Okay, go ahead.
Maharaj?
Yes?
Maharaj, can we give the example of that dust of gopis that Krishna wanted to put on the head?
The dust of the gopis to cure his headache.
Headache, yes.
But I don't see how it's in relation to being purchased. That Krishna becomes purchased. Yeah. He's indebted. Certainly he's under the control of the gopis. So, yeah, you could also say that. I know in the book, the two examples are given, Arjuna and Yudhisthira. Those are the best ones. Prabhupada gave those two examples. Others are also there. So we'll go ahead. Yeah? All right. So, Sandrananda Vishesh Atma. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. Nectar Devotion, Chapter 1, 3rd paragraph.
Yes. So we see there's different kinds of pleasure, right? There's different kinds of pleasure. This is the highest pleasure, incalculable, condensed bliss. Anybody want some? Would you like some incalculable, condensed bliss? Or do you just want the condensed milk? The condensed prasadam, right? The condensed sweetmeat. So this is condensed bliss, incalculable condensed bliss. Yeah, go ahead. We've got one verse here.
Sorry, what?
Yes?
Satrananda Visheshatma, incalculable condensed bliss. Brahmananda Bhavadesha Chet Pararda Guni Krita Naiti Bhakti Sukam Bodhe Paramanu Tulam Api. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.38.
Yes, good.
Srila Rupa Goswami says that if Brahmananda, or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme, is multiplied by 1 trillion-fold, it still cannot compare to an atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the ocean of devotional service. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 1, the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme.
Okay, all right, so we said, remember, there were 3 kinds of happiness. There's material happiness, which is very temporary and very flickering, not very real. And then there's happiness of becoming one with the Brahman. This is described here. But then the happiness of becoming one with the Brahman, it's greater than material happiness, but still it cannot even compare to a fraction of the happiness from real devotional service, from prema bhakti. That the happiness of prema bhakti, the happiness which they get in pure devotional service is so much greater. The happiness of Brahman, that's just a tiny, tiny little bit. They're not going to get much happiness from that. A little bit of happiness, no misery. So that's nice. Okay, go ahead. Okay, levels of happiness. Shubhada. Shubhada. Remember that we're still talking about sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti. And so we get relief from miseries, and then we get also some happiness. The happiness of coming to the Brahman, the happiness of being free of the material body. So it said, Subhada, in sadhana bhakti, superior to happiness of sense gratification or liberation. Then moksha laguta krit, in bhava bhakti. So you can see there's different kinds of happiness. There's happiness in sadhana bhakti. Now we're talking about number 3, happiness in bhava bhakti. It's going to be different. There's different levels of happiness. Just like there's happiness in ignorance, there's happiness in passion, there's happiness in goodness. So there's also happiness in sadhana bhakti, in bhava bhakti, and in prema bhakti. So the happiness in bhava bhakti minimizes the value of sense gratification or liberation. And the happiness in prema bhakti, so incalculably superior that one cannot even perceive the existence of sense gratification or liberation. So we see happiness in each of the different levels, but different kinds of happiness. Happiness in sadhana bhakti, happiness in bhava bhakti, and happiness in prema bhakti. Okay, go ahead. Sri Krishna Karshini, pure devotional service, the only means to attract Krishna. Right? Who's going to attract Krishna? How to attract Krishna? We have to do pure devotional service. It's the only way to attract Krishna. Must do pure service. All right? Okay. Can read, Prabhu?
Sri Krishna Karshini attracts Krishna. To perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani, and devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. So, being directly under the control of the internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. Factor Devotion, Chapter 1, Attracting Krishna, 2nd paragraph.
All right, to perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Srimati Radharani, and devotees of Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection. So we see in Vrindavan people are very fond of Srimati Radharani. Everywhere they've written on the walls, Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. We're very confidential about Srimati Radharani. We don't speak much about Srimati Radharani in Krishna consciousness. we will speak about Krishna consciousness and we will speak about devotional service. But we don't let everybody know, we don't make a big public thing about Srimati Radharani, because it's a very confidential subject matter. The problem is people may think the relationship between Krishna and Srimati Radharani is something mundane. But it's not mundane. It's a very pure spiritual relationship. We said Radha and Krishna are one. Srimati Radharani is the Ladini Shakti. She's the personification of Krishna's pleasure potency. So her purpose is just to give pleasure to Krishna. And we can take shelter of Srimati Radharani to perfect our devotional service. When we want to offer something to Krishna, if we offer it first to Srimati Radharani, then she will bring it to Krishna. And if Radharani said, this is brought for you by the devotee, then certainly Krishna will accept it, because Radharani is very dear to Lord Krishna. So if Srimati Radharani brings something to offer to Krishna, Krishna will appreciate it. He'll be very pleased.
But Maharaj, can we directly offer to Srimati Radharani, or we have to offer it to our Guru Maharaj so that he can forward it?
Well, that's the better process, yes. That we go through the spiritual teacher, because we don't know how to go directly to Srimati Radharani. Just like we cannot go directly to Krishna, we cannot go directly to Srimati Radharani. We have to go through our spiritual teacher, and he will arrange for it to be offered. Either through Radharani or through Lord Nityananda. It can be offered to Lord Nityananda, and then Lord Nityananda will offer it to Lord Chaitanya. Of course, there are many, many, millions of gopis. We want to go to Krishna, we cannot just go directly. So many people. If everyone goes directly, it would be terrible for Lord Krishna. There's so many people coming all the time. And so we have to go through the spiritual teacher. And the spiritual teacher is the representative of Srimati Radharani. So this is the way to attract Krishna, by you get the mercy of Radharani. Devotees in Vrindavan, they put themselves under the care of Radharani to achieve perfection. So under the care means they will meditate, they will chant the holy name of Srimati Radharani. And we are chanting. We also chant the name of Radharani when we chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare means Srimati Radharani. There is no difference between the chanting of Radha Krishna and Hare Krishna. Hare represents Srimati Radharani. So when we're chanting, we're also approaching the divine couple. We're approaching Krishna through his potency, through his Chit Shakti, in the personification of Srimati Radharani. So when people would say Radhe Radhe to Prabhupada, Prabhupada would just say Hare Krishna. He would just say Hare Krishna. He wouldn't say Radhe Radhe. He wouldn't say Hare Hare. He would just say Hare Krishna. Go ahead. All right, so 6 characteristics. We've looked at each of them now. Klesh Agni, relief from distress. Subhada, meaning beginning of all auspiciousness. Moksha lagutta krit, derives even the conception of liberation. Sudurlabha, rarely achieved. Sandrananda Vishesh Atma, puts one in transcendental bliss. And Sri Krishna Karshini, the only means to attract Krishna. Go ahead. All right, so first, Klesh Agni, relief from material distress. What is the cause of distress? Where does suffering come from? What's the cause of distress? Who knows?
Simple activity.
Sinful activities, one cause. What's the root cause of this?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. The root cause is ignorance, right? And what comes because of ignorance, then what happens? Then we get material desires. And then from material desires, then we do material activities. We engage in sinful activities. So that's a relationship. The cause of sinful activities, the root cause is ignorance. And that because of ignorance, material desires, and then because of material desires, sinful activities. And this is the cause of material distress. 3 causes of distress. And then, Subhada, all auspicious. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. One more. Yes. So, there are 4 signs of auspiciousness. First of all, we should be compassionate for everyone. We should care about people. Not just only think of ourselves. We must be concerned for others. We should be selfless, not selfish. And then the second thing, that it attracts everyone. Krishna is all attractive. And if we're doing activities of devotional service, that should attract people. The third thing, produces good qualities. Even though we may not be very well materially educated, but we can have good qualities. And people who are educated materially, they may not have good qualities. They may be very poor, they may be very degraded. And then the fourth thing, bestows superior happiness, right? The highest happiness. So those are the 4 characteristics of auspiciousness. We said the highest welfare work for all humanity, devotional service. Right? And then number 3, moksha lagutta krit, derives liberation. Number 4, sudurlabha, rarely achieved. Why? It cannot be achieved by our own endeavor, and Krishna rarely gives it. He rarely rewards anyone with it. So it's very rare, sudurlabha. And then, Sundrananda Visheshatma, incalculable, condensed bliss, a very deep level of happiness there. If your happiness is like that, it's very great. Go ahead. Number 6, Sri Krishna Karshini, the only means to attract Krishna. You want to attract Krishna? What is the way? How to do it? How are you going to attract Krishna?
pure devotional activity.
Yes, pure devotional activities. Very good. Right. Go ahead. Oh, go back. Under the control, go back. Under the control of the internal potency of Krishna. So that is Sri Krishna Karshini. It's under the control of Krishna. Okay, go ahead. All right, now it's up to you. We want to see a short drama from you to show some aspects about devotional service. So we have 4 groups, right? So you have to give a short drama. We want to see how we get these characteristics in devotional service. So the first group will be the 3 Chinese ladies. They will do the one about Klesh Agni. You have to show a drama. And then the second group, we have 3 ladies, right? We have Narayani Mataji, and we have also Subhamai, and also
Mataji. Subhamai Mataji.
Subhamai and Narayani and
Sandhya Mataji.
Who?
Sandhya Mataji is not here today, Maharaj.
Sandhya.
Sandhya Mataji is not here today.
So you're 2 ladies, okay. So you have to show about auspiciousness, Shubhada, right? We want a little drama, 5 minutes or 3 minutes. You can tell us about Shubhada. Show us in a drama, a dramatic form. And then we have 3 men. We have Bhaktavatsal Nrsinga and Vibhu Chaitanya and Ilyas. So they will do the one about difficult to achieve, Sudurlabha. Difficult to achieve, very rarely achieved, right? And then we have Shashikant and also Sudarshan Prabhu. So you can do Krishna Karshini.
Okay.
All right? So give you 5 minutes to prepare. You have 5 minutes to prepare. Then we want to see.
Shall I send everyone in breakout rooms?
Yes.
Okay.
Breakout rooms. Okay, so Vibhu Chaitanya and yeah, okay, good, yes. So everybody go to a group, just spend a few minutes and figure out how you can do it. Okay.
I think by mistake we clicked on leave room.
It's okay.
It's okay, we are prepared. It's
Okay. You like to begin then? What are you showing us? You're showing us about
Shubhada.
Shubhada. Just let the other devotees come. Let
Yes, Maharaj.
the other devotees not here yet. They're all talking, I guess. Oh, Malin has come. Oh.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, the men here? Just let the men come.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, everyone is back.
Okay, so we're going to see first of all Subhada from Narayani Mataji and Shobhamai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandat Pranams Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I hope we are able to do some justice to the topic. Yeah, so basically, just setting the context. So there is this devotee, devotee Mataji, and a new lady joins or moves in the same locality. So she has a new neighbor. So this devotee Mataji shows some compassion and decides to go and call that other neighbor, the other Mataji, for a Damodar Aarti program at her place. So that is the context. So I will be playing the role of the devotee Mataji, and Sushmita Narayani Mataji is the other Mataji. So that is the scene. We'll begin now. So I just ring the bell, then I say, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hello.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, nice that you have moved in here. Nice to meet you. I am Shobha Mai. I would like to call you for a program at our house on Saturday. So this is a spiritual program. So if you can please make it along with your other family members, it would be nice. It is the program will go on for about 2 hours, and then there will be prasadam also, dinner prasadam. So you please honor the prasadam, and then you can leave.
I'm not sure if I have time, but if I do get time, then I will come.
Please do try, because I'm sure this will help you. So please try. Hoping to see you on Saturday.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so then coming Saturday, the program, it's a Damodar Aarti program where we have set up a nice altar with a Damodar picture and nice decorations. And we have, of course, made arrangements for prasadam, and there is a speaker who is going to share the Damodar Katha. So this Narayani Mataji walks in. Then Hare Krishna, so nice to see you. I'm so glad that you have found time, and please do make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really liking it here. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
That is the picture you see over there. That is the picture of Damodar, who is none. If you we will be talking. The speaker, this Prabhu has come over here, who will be speaking about the pastime of Damodar Leela. So I hope you like the story. And after the program, Of course, the speaker has spoken about the Damodar Leela, and this Mataji is really attracted by that. So after the program, there is the prasadam distribution. So during the prasadam, this Mataji goes and speaks. Hare Krishna Mataji, I hope you like the program. I hope you like the story. And I hope you're liking the prasadam.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. The prasadam is really tasty. I've never tasted anything like this before.
Wow. And did you like the story, Mataji?
Yeah, really beautiful.
Do you want to know more about Krishna?
Yeah, a little bit interested.
Okay, so this is a book. It's called Krishna, and it is very beautifully, all the nice stories, many such stories are given in this book. And very beautifully, the author is Srila Prabhupada, who has written wonderful in a way that we can understand in a story form. So if you're interested, you can read this book. And also, as Prabhu was mentioning, the importance of chanting. It would be nice if you can just take 5 minutes of your time every day and chant. These are the beads. If you have time, just 5 minutes. One full round is going to take only about 5 to 7 minutes. And the mantra, as the Prabhu was saying, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is what you have to chant. Please do try. And I'm pretty sure that, you will feel good and you will develop all wonderful qualities. Now that you're already attracted by this, if you do this, you will develop all wonderful qualities.
There's no harm in trying. Maybe I could try that. Just take 7 minutes, as you're saying.
Yes. Yeah, so please do try. And if you're interested, every Sunday we have a Kirtan program. You can join us, where we will be sharing a little bit of knowledge also. So please do try.
Okay, Mataji, thank you so much.
Okay, so then after a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, that Mataji comes again for that Sunday program. So Hare Krishna, so nice to see you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's really good to see you after a long time.
Yeah, and so nice to see you with your chanting beads also. I can make out that you're chanting. Wow.
I'm really indebted to you, Mataji. After I met you in that program, I've been attending the temple programs every week, and it has really brought a sense of joy in me, and I've never felt this kind of happiness before. And now I really want to be like one of those devotees. They inspire me so much. They're so kind-hearted, and they're really, really sweet to me. And I even bring some of my family members at the program.
Hey, nice to hear, Mataji. And I can see that your attitude has also changed. And do you see a change in yourself in terms of your behavior, your attitude, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Earlier, I used to be very angry, and I used to get angry even at the little stuffs. But nowadays, it has. I'm a little bit more. I'm not so angry. I don't get angry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for taking this up. I'm sure you will experience greatest happiness in this journey. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, very nice. Thank you very much, ladies. Very well done. Made a devotee,
I wish it was so easy to convince others, Maharaj.
Yeah, I know. You had it easy. Okay, thank you very much. What about the Chinese ladies? Are you ready? Lila Avatar? Sitala?
Mei Ling, yes. 美玲，你来做旁白。你读到那个圣人，我就读师姐。你读到那两个女孩，西塔拉就那两个女孩的说两个女孩的话，好吗？美玲。
OK， 我们开始吧。我来旁白，然后你们俩配合。Okay, so now we take the story about the chapter 4, the Bhagavad Gita glories, the chapter 4 Bhagavad Gita glories. is said about the story is the Indra was envious the Satyatapa because Satyatapa was so purified and sublime to the Lord. The Indra was so envious the stage, so he orders the two servants to luring the stage. And now the Bharat was passed by this place. He was chanting the chapter 4. He is take a rest on the tree. He take a rest on the tree, and now after he left, there have two souls liberated from the trees. The two souls born again as born in the Brahma, born as the Brahma's daughter. When these two girls grow up, he go to the pilgrim. He met the great sage Bharat. When she met the Sri Bharat Maharaja, and they worship under his lotus feet, and then they sighed.
Then they died.
记得了。
干啥呀？你是那两个女孩呀？你说那两个女孩？
两个女孩呀！
哎呦！
是当我是梅林的女儿，真的吗？
女儿跟巴拉特说话，巴拉特说：“我亲爱的巴拉特呀，前世，是我前世，为什么来这儿？”
哎呀，my English is really not good.
没问题，继续。
Okay. My. 哎呀 Please save me.
Okay. Enough. We'll come back to you. Let's leave it for now. Let's hear from Bhaktavatsala Prabhu. Bhaktavatsala Nrsinga Prabhu. Let's go to them.
Herbal, but I apologize, but we didn't have enough time to write up the dialogues.
Well, you don't have to write out anything. Just speak what you feel. You don't write anything. We don't want you to write anything. Just say.
No, I meant because the group was asking for a drama.
Well,
and,
but it's just a make-up, temporary, just a quick thing, just spontaneous. Just spontaneous.
Yeah, it's a skit, but we couldn't really think of a proper example to add to the skit. That's the problem.
Okay, then we'll go to the other one. Sudarshan Baladev Prabhu, have you got something?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, please.
So, Maharaj, our topic was attracting Krishna. Pure devotion service is attracting Krishna. So, in the text, Prabhupada has given example of how Prahlad Maharaj, his devotional service attracted Krishna. So, we have made up our drama based on that.
Okay.
So, I am playing the role of Hiranyakashipu and Sudarshan will be playing the role of Prahlad Maharaj.
Okay.
So, I will try to elude Sudarshan Prabhu. Many material. So, let's see.
And we want a guest artist also. Maharaj will be our guest artist. He will be Narasimha Maharaj. You will be Narasimha Prabhu.
Haribol.
So,
Okay.
my dear son Prahlad, I will give you $10 million. Please give up this Krishna consciousness.
Sorry, Father, but I prefer Vishnu.
What I was saying, my dear son, I am your father. I am your well-wisher. You understand? I really feel for you. Okay, alright. If you are not attracted to money, so
my father, material desires are available for dogs, hogs. Do you want me to be a dog or a hog?
My son, it looks like you have become more intelligent than me. So, if you don't hear me, I'll kill you.
Father, are you ignorant? How you cannot kill me, because I am not this body, I am the soul, and you can kill this body, but you cannot kill me.
Okay, you can say yourself then.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Nrsimha Bhagwan ki. Okay? That's it, Prabhus?
Yes, Prabhu, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go back to our slideshow. Can we go back to the slideshow, Prabhu? Baladev? Yeah? Okay, go ahead. There's another slide. The objectives, right? So we spoke about the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. At what stage they manifest. Right? 6 characteristics. 2 manifest at the stage of sadhana bhakti, 4 manifest at the stage of bhava bhakti, and 6 manifest at the stage of prema bhakti. Right? Everybody understand that?
Yes, Maharaj.
We're okay on that? And then we spoke about how Krishna consciousness movement performs the highest welfare activity. The highest welfare activity. What do? We make propaganda to give people Krishna consciousness. We distribute prasadam, we distribute books, we do festivals. We show compassion to people, to give them Krishna consciousness. Okay? So that's mainly the things we covered today. Here's the quote, final quote from Prabhupada. He remained with those royal brothers, being attracted by their devotion, by their friendship, and by their love. That is the proof of how great this process of devotional service is. It can attract even the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts Him. People who are not in devotional service can never understand what great value there is in rendering service to the Lord. So this is a very nice quote, right? Devotional service attracts Krishna. God is great, but devotional service is greater than God because it attracts Him. Krishna is attracted by devotional service. We just saw Prahlad Maharaj chanted Hare Krishna, and I appeared, Nrsimha. I was Nrsimhadev, and when he chanted Hare Krishna, I was attracted by the devotion, Nrsimhadev. So Krishna is attracted by pure devotion. All right? Yes, go ahead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right? So, let me see, we want to have a look at that, how we would show the drama for these devotees, those 3 boys, the 3 men who are going to do it, Bhakta, Vatsala, Nrsimha Prabhu, and Vibhu Chaitanya, and Bhakta Ilyas. How they could do a drama about rarely achieved. Somebody's got some suggestions? Do you have any? Did you have any ideas?
Yes, Maharaj. We were thinking of doing the examples that you gave of Krishna and Arjuna or Krishna and Yudhishthira.
Yeah.
But then we couldn't really think of what dialogue to include exactly.
Well, dialogue. You know, the one dialogue you could do. You could have Duryodhana and Krishna and Arjuna. They both went to Krishna, and they wanted Krishna for their side. So Krishna said, "I'm not going to fight, but I'll be the chariot driver for somebody, and the other person can have my army." So Duryodhana said, "Yeah, I want your army," and Arjuna said, "Yeah, I want you to be my chariot driver." So you could have made the drama like that, the dialogue like that. You just, Duryodhana and Arjuna and Krishna. And they're asking Krishna to come on my side. We want Krishna. Krishna, I'm not going to fight. But I can be the chariot driver if you want. Or you can have my army. Right? And if it was Maharaj Yudhishthira, then you just, I have a letter, I want you to take this letter to Dhritarashtra. Then you could have had, make a dialogue like that. And Krishna has to take the letter, and then Krishna comes back and says, "Oh, I took the letter, but they tried to arrest me. I had to show my universal form." And you can do like that, you see. All right, now what about the Chinese ladies? Lila Avatar. What was your drama about? Tell me, what is the drama? What's the story of the drama?
The story of drama.
Yes? What was your story? Tell me.
Okay. Our story is Mei-Ling Mataji to Mei-Ling Mataji to tell the story, the background of the story. I play the saint, and Sitala act the two girls.
Sitala is the two ghosts.
Yes, but within do it.
You didn't do it, yeah. No, I wanted to understand what you were trying to do first. Oh, Mei-Ling was just telling the background.
Yes.
Oh, I see. She was telling the background. So the background was...
Yes, the background was the Saint Bharata lived at the bank of Ganges. Bharata reciting the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita on a tree. He is lying on a tree, chanting the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And only by this, the Saint Bharata liberated two souls. But he didn't know about this.
Where were the souls? Where were they?
They were servant of the angels. The servant of the angels. It's the heavenly fairy.
It was the heavenly planets.
Yes.
I thought you said they were in the Himalayas. I thought it was Bharat in the Himalayas. Bharat was in the Himalayas. He wasn't in the heavenly planets. I don't know that. Where is this story from?
It's from the glories of Bhagavad Gita, the chapter 4. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 glories.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh. Yes. Yeah. The angel was orders his servant to to have sexual like this with the sage, because the Indra was envious the sage. So because Indra was envy, and he orders his servant to to illusion the stage. So this is the story. And after that, there has another Bharat. The Bharat.
Yes. The two souls are in two fruit trees. The Saint Bharat used one tree as the pillow and one tree as a chair under his feet.
Oh.
That's the two souls. The two souls in the two fruit trees.
Oh. And they got liberated by hearing the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
So, what has this got to do with distress? All right, we said that you were supposed to talk about how we get relief from distress.
They are in the tree. In the tree, the distress is because they are in the tree.
Oh, because they're in the tree. It's a punishment, is it? They're in the tree.
Yes, yes.
Oh. And so they got relief because he chanted the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that all?
Well, I don't know. It's not a story we all know. I didn't know it. I never heard it before.
It's from the Gita Mahatmya, Maharaj. The glories of each and every chapter. It's mentioned. There is a small book called Gita Mahatmya.
Yeah.
Where it's from the Padma Puran, where each and every chapter, the glories are explained in the form of these pastimes, which Mataji was sharing.
Okay.
This is on chapter 4. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So you knew it. I never read it. I never read this Gita Mahatmya. Okay. Are there any questions? Anybody? Are you okay? Are we keeping up with the course? All right? No problems?
Yes,
Okay. So we'll meet you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Go back to Vrinda ki.